Oh my god, the Queen's here. Everybody stop everything. Hi, this is Cass from Aussie Cass Plays, and welcome to Generation 3 Part 1 of my Medieval Legacy Challenge. I am so excited for this. I just wanted to show you guys, I have populated Glimmerbrook now. When I recorded the last part of Medieval, like the last part of the previous generation, I had literally just put this grocery in and that was it, and all these lots were still empty. So I have populated them. We have a little medieval tavern. These builds are all from the gallery. So we've got a blacksmith, well, the blacksmith family. That's a residential lot. Her dad would feel so attacked. Anyway, she's moved in near the other smiths after his smithy got shut down by the crown. This is the bookseller who runs the library where Rose was getting her books, but this is the household that I've put him in. We've got the Salcedo family. Apologies if I'm saying that wrong. They live here. And the tavern. Now, as I mentioned in the previous part, this is part of the Kingdom of Windenburg. It is the name of a little village. And Vivienne has moved out of the main city farm area where her family has been because there was an opportunity to set up a grocery here. So we will just pop into the household, and I'll show. We have sold a couple of paintings since the last part, so I have made a few improvements, but very small. All right, we've jumped into the household / shop because we're living on the retail lot. I've just got little Desiree coming in. She's going to open the shop for a bit, but I thought I'd show you. I got in, this is a CC pumpkin, which is marked for sale. I bought in this little divider. We've got a couple of like random little objects that I figured, you know, they're homewares. I think that's also for sale, like the little cup thing. So this is our, and also a random garden salad thing. So this is our little homewares area. Now, I've just got Vivienne painting. I thought while these guys are doing their thing over here that I would run through the rules for the merchant generation for you guys. Obviously, we've done the build part, so I'll skip over that. We have to have 3 kids. At least one has to be a male because the next generation is knight. We can go on vacation if we have outdoor retreat, which I do, but they have to go camping. We'll see how we go. Maybe we'll do that. Children can have at most a B in school. So that means that Vivienne's kids are officially attending school as opposed to Rose and Olivia's kids who were not. We were pretending they weren't at school, or in the case of Olivia's kids, they just didn't go because I used holidays. The heir is the male young adult with the most friends. If 2 have equal amounts of friends, with one with the highest level in the parents' focus skill is the heir. Now, I think the focus skill is the skill they're using to make money. So in Vivienne's case, that is painting. And then if we max 2 art skills or have a retail store worth 30,000. Now that's going to be a bit confusing because obviously I combine the retail and residential. So this place is already worth 42. But you're supposed to start... Oh my god, the Queen's here! To socialize! Everybody stop everything! Desiree, come and be respectful. Can you just greet the custom and the king or the prince? Oh my god, they're feeling sad. You'll notice I also got some CC tiaras and crowns and stuff, which I am loving. You'll just because you guys haven't seen Grace for a while. This is the Queen. Was Princess Grace when we first started. She's getting on a bit, got some wrinkles and stuff, but I figured I also have, you'll notice none of my Sims have makeup on until they get to nobility, and then I let them wear makeup. She has makeup on. So this is her like low-key everyday. I actually literally just gave her a makeover yesterday because I just found, what's the name of the creator? I just downloaded a heap of CC from this person and they do like awesome crowns and tiaras and stuff. So, you know, he's got like this little Greek thing because he's the husband of the Queen, but he's also not, because she's the monarch and he's not. So hence why he's called a prince. But the reason they are sad is because Edison has passed away. Now, while I think Vivienne would want to talk to the Queen about her dad's situation, because Queen Grace is presumably the one behind the order to shut down Thomas's smithy, I also don't think she would. So I'm actually going to get you to stop painting And we're just going to go around and greet everybody. I'm not planning on being too heavy-handed with the retail sales pitches and things. I figured, as a rule, I'm probably just going to let the customers wander around and make their own decisions. I found with Get to Work that, like, because you can do sales pitches, right? You can go in here and all of this. But I find when you do that, quite often they get annoyed. So kind of would just leave it. But yes, I don't think Vivienne would be prepared to hit up the Queen. You know, she's not that bullshit. She would definitely talk to Sir Reginald about it, but not the Queen and the Prince. Now, I assume the reason that the Queen is here is because she's on a tour. She's taking an interest in the little town of Glimmerbrook. And she heard there was a new grocer opening up and she'd like to show support for local businesses, I assume. But Edison has passed away. I don't know if word of that would have made it as far as Vivienne. I'm sure Rose knows by now. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing would depend on the way you look at it. Obviously, him being dead, he's died of old age. Obviously, the way him... Actually, did he? No, he froze to death. I figured he was showering naked out the front of her house. Clearly, he's been running around naked outdoors. Stop talking to that person and go make a sale to this lovely mermaid lady over here. This is the Island Living Mermaid. She got a makeover. Now, one thing I can't change is that they ring them up on tablets. We're just going to ignore that part. And just be like, nope, nope. She's taking a pouch of monies. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. Actually, I was just thinking bills could be a problem. But I actually don't know if they will, because do you pay bills on retail lots? I don't think you do. And the quote-unquote residential lot where these guys are actually based, it's empty. Like, it's literally just a patch of grass. Which means we might actually not get bills. Hi, let me join Vivienne's friends. What do you think? Of course, Joseph. We'd love to have you join Vivienne's friends. I do want him to propose in this part, but it feels a bit rude to close the shop while the Queen's here, you know? If the Queen's here, we are open until the Queen leaves, which is going to mean we need her to actually decide to buy something. All right, Vivienne, my darling. Oh, she's talking to the Prince. Excuse me, Prince. I have to go and ring up this customer over here. Oh, they're all buying the paintings. I'm glad. Like, I am grateful, because if they're buying the paintings, those are worth a lot more than, like, you know, anything else. Okay, well, we're basically waiting for the Prince and the Queen to leave now. And then, oh, it's Vlad. Oh my goodness. Vlad is the ruler of the Forgotten Kingdom, you guys. And he is not quite at war with Queen Grace. We could have an international incident. I'm sorry, Vlad, we're going to have to ask you to leave. Yes, you're going to have to go. You're not welcome here. We're in the Kingdom of Windenburg. Also, I don't like vampires. Did I mention that I have garlic above the door? It's like, vampires are not welcome. This is a no vampire establishment. And he's like, right. Oh, they're having a conversation over the wall. That's nice. He's like, yeah, no, King Vlad was here. Or actually, would Vlad be a king? Would he be a king of a kingdom? Well, I mean, if it's a kingdom, he's a king. But of his realm, would he be a king? I wonder what title. I feel like Supreme Overlord and Master, you know? So there you go. This is how I imagine this is generally going to work. Is when I feel the shop is well stocked, I'll open it up. The Prince and the Queen are still hanging around. This is getting a little awkward. Desiree's got her eye on the Queen. She's like, I've just recently moved to your kingdom and I really love it. It's a wonderful place. I can leave the house and, like, I can not get bitten by vampires. And Queen Grace is like, yes, we pride ourselves on not having vampires in Windenburg. We don't have any. And Desiree is like, not anymore, you don't. Okay, Prince Charles has finally made a decision. She's gone jogging. I need you to come back here immediately and ring up this customer. Is he really buying eggs? If he buys eggs, I am going to laugh so hard. Oh, and the Queen wants to buy something as well. And then we can shut up shop. Come on, ring up the Queen. What is she buying? It looks like she's going to buy one of the paintings. Vivienne, you have to get back here. How far did she get? Oh my god. Let's not offend the crown any more than we have. Okay. Phew. Yeah, I think he's probably going to buy that vase. What did she buy? She bought a painting. Oh, that's nice. I will have to go into the royal family and put the painting on the wall, and then we can be like, one of Vivienne's paintings hanging in the palace. Someone else wants to buy something. So he just bought the vase. I'm just going to ring up this guy and then we're actually going to close the shop. So funny that the monarchs turned up. I was not going to open this for that long. Oh, look, Lilith's here. Oh, she's come to check on Desiree. That's really sweet. Lilith actually did show up before the monarchs left, but they didn't notice her. Because she's not as, like, obvious as Vlad, you know, poofing around. So what we'll do is I'm going to have these guys take care of the needs, get a full night's sleep, and then tomorrow we'll have little Joseph over. Well, that answers my question about the bills. They're actually based on the residential lot. So it's only 366 simoleons, which isn't bad. Of course, that's like half of our household funds, but we do have store funds. I am so excited, by the way. I haven't mentioned this, I don't think, in any of my videos. The cottage living pack is going to slot in so nicely into the medieval challenge. It's unfortunate that we've done the farming generation already, but at the same time, like, we could have a little, you know, it's not a huge lot. I think this is I want to say 30 by 40 at most. But we could have like a chook shed here, and I'm going to go back and give David's farm a makeover once we have livestock, and we'll replace the chicken coops that I've got around the world, which is just on Olivia and Rose's properties, with the chickens from the game, which is very exciting. Potentially, the only thing is I would have liked to play in the world in this series, but we're kind of, it's like knight, priest, noble, I think, in the next 3 generations. I don't think the vibe of Henford on Bagley is going to work. Knight, priest, noble, royal, and the royal is the last generation. That is when we say who's queen, the answer is we are queen. We can move into the castle, or maybe build a new castle, although I spent ages on the castle we have, so maybe not. Anyway, we had some honey from the bees and it was poor quality. So I'm just having Vivienne see what she can do about that. Not Vivienne, Desiree. Obviously, she is a spellcaster. It looks like it retails for the same amount, which is a bit annoying. I might set a couple of them for sale and we'll put the others up in the fridge for, you know, cooking purposes. Now, Vivienne is finally over her little jealous moodlet that she was having. So I'm going to have her really quickly finish that. And then... oh, someone wants to buy that painting of Plopsy. That's awesome. Oh, we're not going to be able to ship it. I can't ship it because I'm not on my home lot. So that's nice. She's going to have to go past the home lot. Unless I wonder if I can add a mailbox on this lot. I have a feeling I can't. Let's give it a try. Okay, I'm getting ship on Plopsy now. Let's see if it actually works. Oh, it does. I don't know if I could get the mail from that lot. From here. That's going to make this a lot more like a real lot. The biggest problem I can see is going to be the babies. I was actually thinking when you bulldoze a lot that has a baby on it, like a baby object, puts it into the household inventory, and I can access our household inventory from here and put things out. That's how you do things like craft an object and then bring it to your retail store. You can actually grab it from household inventory. So it's possible I might be able to bring baby objects across into this lot. We're going to have to just test it. I won't know until we try. All right, you guys, it's a little bit later in the day and Vivienne and Joseph have come to the medieval tavern. They've never been here before, either of them, so it's kind of an exploring the neighborhood thing. Desiree was invited, but she's a total homebody, so she didn't want to come. So we'll come in here and we'll order a drink for the group. Let's get... just a nice wine, you know? So she's like telling him about how their first couple of days have gone at the shop and how excited she is. Oh, she is very, very sick. You probably shouldn't be out of the house with the plague. I didn't know she had the plague. She didn't have the plague when we left. I feel like they'd be like, get out with your plague. So that's awkward. I was going to have them have a nice romantic date at the tavern, but in medieval times, someone obviously crook like that with some kind of plague, yeah, I don't think they'd let her stay. So drink your wine real quick, and then you're both going to have to go home. So they've gotten back to the shop. I think Joseph is going to say, look, you've been working too hard. You know, you've been obviously stressing yourself out. You need to take it easy. You know, let me come in and spoil you and, you know, get you a nice drink. So he is getting her an orange juice. Where is Desiree? She's out in the garden again. This girl lives in the garden. She's clearly, you know, definitely bonding. She's like hanging out with the bees. Gonna get her to talk to this plant, collect some honey. So he's like, look, you know, she's had the orange juice now. I think it's a slice of life thing, maybe actually a game thing, but it works a lot like medicine. So she's feeling a bit better now. And he's like, look, you've got to look after yourself. You know, you're clearly run down. Does Desiree not look after you? And she's like, well, you know, why should Desiree look after me? He's like, well, she's the older cousin, isn't she? And Vivienne's like, yeah, but not by much. Joseph is like, look, I want to be able to look after you myself. I want to know that you're well. And I think, you know, we've talked about getting married and I think we should do it. And she's like, oh my God, that's amazing. Thank you. They were already betrothed when they were teens. They had exchanged promise rings when they were teens. So this is the next, I guess, logical step. Yay, we're engaged. She's going to give him a kiss. Be like, thank you so much. You're such a sweetheart. I'm not going to invite him to stay the night. That wouldn't be seemly. But he clearly wants to. Oh, by the way, I gave him a tiny bit of a makeover because I figured he's from a fairly well-to-do lower middle class kind of family and his parents are weavers, they're tailors, and he should be not have clothes with holes in and stuff. I think that CF Simmer, I think when you made him, you put him in the, where are you going? You put him in the Realm of Magic shirt, which I actually really like for medieval Sims. It's just, this is a CC top that then doesn't have the rips in it. She's feeling super pumped. What are you painting, lady? This better be medieval appropriate so I can put it on my wall. Anyway, I'm not going to have them get married in this part. We'll do that in the next part. I actually want to switch across to Rose, which if you're new to this, if you're dipping in at the start of this generation, Rose is Vivienne's mum. She's our servant generation mama, and she has some stuff she needs to get done. So I'm going to switch across, say goodbye to Vivienne, Joseph, and Desiree for now. In the next part, we will do the wedding. And then probably Desiree is going to move back in with her parents. I don't think she will want to stay here long term. The amount of people she has to mingle with. I see Desiree as acutely introverted and like a little bit socially anxious. And her having the king and queen show up would have been very stressful for her. She'd be like, they were asking about vampires and I didn't know what to say and it was too stressful. So I feel like she probably will move home. But let me know what you think, because if you guys are keen for me to keep Desiree here, I obviously have use for a spellcaster. She can cast Grand Delicio and magic up food. So, and repair things. She's a very handy sim to have, but see what you think, let me know. All right, you guys, we're joining Rose and Thomas, and the kids, the teens have gone off to school, but I have some very distressing news, primarily for me, but hopefully some of you will understand my distress. We are 2 days away from Rose and Thomas's birthdays. They will be elders, you guys, which means, because Rose is the second youngest, right? Oliver has a get out of jail free card. Andrea is younger. So that means David, Isabella, who just had a baby. I am not okay. She's not. She just had her baby. I actually, after I unpaused her pregnancy so that I could make it so she would show as being in second trimester in the last part, I forgot to repause it like a boss. So she has had her baby. I have no idea what name the game has given it. The reason Rose is currently baking is she's making a sourdough loaf to take over as like a congratulations present. You know, I've brought you food. So she's heading off over to the Goths' house. We're going to, I think I'm going to have Thomas stay home and he can work on a bathtub. I mean, I was all fixated on getting Thomas's business started back up again, except that now I'm like, well, he's about to be an elder and would retire anyway. I guess what we do want to do is get the business out of the bad books of the crown so that if Christopher wants to take over the business, he can. or like start up his own smithing business. We want to make sure that the family's sort of not in the bad books forever. Now, obviously they're not, because the Queen came to Vivienne's shop. So it's presumably not the entire family. But I'm going to have Rose travel to the Goths' house, which is just up the road, so it won't take her long. She lives here, and they live in this ridiculous house. But yes, we have a baby bottle. I've also aged up Victor, and I've aged up Cassandra's other son, because she had a second son. Let's go and meet the niece/nephew and Isabella, and maybe have a chat to Morty about the whole Thomas blacksmith situation, because Morty's more likely to have influence with the crown than Rose is. Okay, so we've arrived at the Goth's house. She's just coming to knock on the door. Now, let's go... Oh, there's Morty, and he is very mad about something. Oh, this is Cassandra's youngest, by the way. Let's just say hello to him. He's a little cute bean. He's very busily climbing down a flight of stairs. Look at him. I really want to see what name the game gave. Why can I not see it? So she's come to meet her little niece. What if I reset the object? I probably shouldn't do it while she's feeding them. No, Cassandra does not like fitness. One of the things about having every... Whitney Graham. It does check out that because Mortimer and Isabella are not married, and there's no prospect they will ever be married, it does check out that she would have her mum's surname. I'm not sure about Whitney as a medieval style name. So apparently it actually is an Old English name. So it's from a surname that was originally derived from a place name meaning White Island in Old English. And it became popular, obviously, in the 1900s. But it's actually an older name than I thought. It's based on Old English. So there you go. We could leave it as Whitney, but let me know what you think. This is little Victor, who Isabella has effectively raised since he was a toddler. I can't remember what trait I gave him. I remember I went for a positive trait because I figured the whole reason Mortimer hired Isabella was because he was worried Victor was going to go down a path of negativity. And she's had a moderating influence on him. So I think he's like a bookworm or something, like his granddad, which is awesome. But yes, Morty is finally coming in. And I guess we can congratulate him perhaps on the birth of his daughter. I can't believe that. He's got to be older than dirt by now. If Rose, because I think Rose started catering for this family when they were elders already. So he's got to be like 90. Just had a daughter. Anyway, it's fine. Let's compliment his house and we'll imagine we're complimenting his child. Congratulations. Oh, that's not okay. That's not okay. I believe that's how babies are made. Let's not do that. So she's like, congratulations. Offer gratitude to Mortimer, I suppose. Oh, Isabella's finally showing up. Isabella, come here. Where have you been? She must have been jogging or something. She was a long way away. So we will give a heartfelt compliment to Isabella on her child and generally congratulate them. The elephant in the room is obviously the fact that it was all out of wedlock and Mortimer is not going to marry Isabella. But I think Mortimer, because these guys are actually friends, I think, in fact, she's almost as good a friends with him as she is with Isabella. So I think he can read her well enough to say, look, I'm taking steps to make sure that Isabella and my daughter are cared for after I pass. And Isabella's like, oh, honey, you're going to live forever. And Mortimer's like, well, that's, it doesn't hurt to take precautions, my little dove. And Isabella would blush because, he called her a dove. I think she's also, I'm going to have her ask a favour. Can I do, oh, no, please don't leave, Morty. I need to ask you a favour. Can we, maybe other Sims talk up Thomas? We'll see what he says. And if he gives us a positive response, like I can't wait to meet them, as opposed to they sound really boring, which is the alternative, we'll assume that he's maybe willing to talk Thomas up to the crown next time he's at the castle. Hopefully he doesn't die by then. I'd love to get to know him. So Rose is like explaining the whole situation, everything that happened with Edison, how Thomas got in a brawl with Edison because Edison was showering naked out the front of their house and had been long-term stalking Rose. So she's going to mention, what was that? Mention selfless generosity? I think we're going to mention Mortimer's selfless generosity. Whoa, we're being very passionate here. But I think she doesn't strike me as the kind of sim who would care. So I feel like George would be looking to make sure that Isabella's daughter doesn't affect his son's chances of inheriting everything. But I don't think Cassandra would be super fast. So let's flatter Victor. And this is little Magnus. I don't think I told you guys his name before. I confess because I forgot. This is Magnus Gothstone. He is very much like his dad, actually. He's got his dad's skin colour, whereas Victor looks a lot more like his mum. Now, I think we're going to probably leave Thomas unemployed because he's about to be an elder. But Mortimer's going to talk to the Crown about the Miller family more broadly and say, look, yes, Thomas shouldn't have been picking a fight with an arm of the royalty, because the thing is, Edison was a representative of the Crown and he shouldn't have lifted a hand against him. So therefore Thomas was in the wrong. But Mortimer can hopefully convince the Crown that the rest of the family shouldn't suffer. So that means like David and his kids, that means Oliver and his family, although they're kind of sailing under the radar at the moment. You know, making sure that Vivienne and the others basically are not affected by Thomas's actions. And I think Thomas is just going to have to accept that. I think that makes sense. But I'm going to have her just, you know, kind of compliment Isabella. And the thing that does my head in the most is that their baby is going to be aging up to a toddler around about when Isabella becomes an elder. Does my head in. And obviously that means Cassandra should also be. And George. Wow, time flies. I guess nobility is more well-preserved. They have better medical care. It makes sense. That's why Morty is so old. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this part up here. If you're new, if you've just dropped in, I've had some new subscribers. Thank you. I've just passed 300 subs, which I'm very excited about. If you are new to this series and you haven't watched the two previous generations, welcome. There's obviously a few issues that have carried on from previous generations, but, you know, I'll try and provide brief explanations when it's relevant. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up here. If you have enjoyed, please like and subscribe. You know the drill. Don't forget to wash your hands, and I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.